Obviously, we are intimately aware of all of the frustrations and the problems everyone had with the premium Bandai system for the exclusives. I know we made several claims in previous live streams that things should be better this year. We only can go off the information that we are given from our IT and from the people who know much more about internet technology than we do. Our servers were greatly expanded over last year. We had well more than double the traffic that we had last year. And the two launches were so close to each other that there was really no time for them to, make the necessary adjustments. You deserve better than what you got the last two offerings.
My goodness, we got a death threat a couple hours ago. It's pretty amazing.
So plastic Goku.
Right. We experienced the same thing. We're at home. We're trying to log in. We're trying to get our figures as well. It's not like we have a special drop box where we just go and pick up all the stuff. We are literally in the same queue as you guys. I'm a fan of like G.I. Joe, and I tried really hard to get like Baroness and the Viper a couple weeks ago on Target, and that website was crashing. Even if Amazon's crashing, it just kind of puts it into perspective.
Yeah, and in addition to increasing the servers and trying to do everything we could, we took some of the Asian premium Bandai sites, down to the bare bones, if not completely offline. Rescheduled launches. We were scheduled there was going to be a hobby launch yesterday. Luckily, that was rescheduled. It was, a total mess. We will learn from it. We will try to be better from it. We were told the servers will be better. We're marketing guys. We're community guys. We're here. We're just fans of, of the toys as well. And we can only pass on the information the experts give us. And we're in the same boat as you. I didn't get anything as well last night. So some people are just going to be upset no matter what. And, we're not here to tell you how to feel.
Hi, everyone. This is Joe and Blue. I know you guys want me to just rip into P-Bandai and say how much I hate them, that I had to wait so long to get my figures and all kinds of stuff like that. That's not what this video is. I just ask that you go into this with an open mind. And if you do, you'll probably come out for the better because of it. I'm by no means trying to defend them here. I'm just kind of like trying to put things into perspective, per se. The first point I want to talk about is, why do you need these figures right now that 2 months ago you didn't even know existed? Because I'm sure I'm not the only one with a figure backlog or a Gunpla backlog. I probably seriously have 20 kits in there that still need to be built. And I've never opened a SHF Kid Goku. I own the original. I didn't open that one yet either. This one is just sat on the shelf, even though I've owned it for 8 months. I would assume that somebody out there is also in the same boat as I am. Am I right? Why do you need these figures right now? Why do you need them in August as opposed to February of 2022, as opposed to whenever? Why do you need them? Why do you need them? Go play with your other stuff. I'm sure you have it lying around, right? What's the point? Point number 2 is, have you ever waited for a figure only to end up selling it? That you waited on the figure for so long and then you watched a review and then you found out it's a piece of crap. Like, I really want Nappa, but if Nappa is using a Raditz style of articulation as opposed to a Ginyu style of articulation, I'm probably not going to like the Nappa very much. And then it's like, was it worth everything that I went through to try and get this figure just for it to be terrible and me not to like this thing in the end? Probably not. You just kind of want to push it out of your memory and move on. I'm sure that's happened to you. Has it not? It will. Give it some time. Point number 3. SHF is not the only company that has problems with exclusives, and we should be lucky that we're even getting these kinds of opportunities to get these figures, and companies go back on their word and reissue things later on. Like, have you ever tried to get a Mezco SDCC exclusive? It is up for 20 minutes. The site works perfectly fine. But if you're not there in those 20 minutes, you don't get the figure. And I've heard the guy that owns Mezco talk about why he doesn't reissue stuff. He's like, well, we're not going to do it because, let's say, a bunch of people are getting mad in our comments that, oh, I couldn't get the Mezco Batman Beyond. But if we had opened up pre-orders and we made another 5,000 units, only like maybe another 500 would have got sold. Is that really worth it? I think it's kind of bullcrap what he's saying. But Mezco does not care at all There is like standard releases. You think SHF aftermarket prices are insane? Mezco's retail for like 80 and their aftermarket can reach like over $500. It is ridiculous. If Mezco's had sold out in 20 minutes, they'd just say, "Oh, I don't really care. It's not our problem." Like the fact that SHF is even like, "Okay, look, we're sorry. We should have made the limit smaller. We should have had better servers, and we should have had a captcha to prevent the bots. Here's a third wave. We're just gonna have open pre-orders. Get whatever you want to. We don't really care." Like the fact that you get that opportunity is insane. I don't think you realize just how rare that it is, especially for an event exclusive. Even the Hasbro Black Series carbonized Mandalorian, whoever would have thought that the Mandalorian would have been popular. I could have got first editions that now sell for $200, but I didn't. And this thing was once $90, and Target decided, you know what, I'm going to reissue that thing. And then I was able to pick this up for about $30 5 months ago, even though it came out 2 years ago. But the point is, I was able to get a reissue, and reissues are not very easy to come by. I mean, most of the time, you're just left to the aftermarket, and I do not support that practice at all. I think it is so stupid. Like, the crap that Nintendo does, where they only make so many copies of it. So if you want to buy Pokemon Coliseum now, it's probably going to cost you more than it did in 2005. I don't support that practice at all, but luckily, that doesn't always happen. And luckily, some companies give reissues. It's just, it is so few and far between. Okay? We should be lucky that that's even an option, because Mezco does not care. Funko does not care. So many other companies just do not care at all. And the fact that SHF is willing to do that could be a sign of them genuinely caring a little bit about their community, and that these lines are so popular. Why doesn't Mezco do it? I don't know, but they don't. Number 4, third-party saviors. I mean, do you guys own a bootleg of the God Coup? Did you buy the Demoniacal Fit head kit? Because I assume in one way or another, you're going to have some sort of representation of this character, right? Like, let's talk about last year. The stupidness about how they made the tattered shirt an event exclusive and said, "Oh yeah, it's gonna be fine because it's gonna be online available to everyone. It's not gonna be a problem or whatever." And it was a problem. No one could get it. And guess what? Demoniacal Fit came out with theirs, and then also made another version. And then now they're going back with Goku Black and making a new Goku Black. And they're doing Majin Vegeta all over again. And then it's like, yeah, sure, it kind of sucks that you didn't get those, but companies like Demoniacal Fit do not come around very often. This Ahsoka, I was lucky enough to get one, but it sucks. I mean, it is not accurate to her Clone Wars Season 7 look at all. I mean, she needs new shins and feet entirely, and new bracelets and stuff, and Hasbro doesn't care, at least at the moment. Maybe in 5 years they'll make a new Season 7 Ahsoka, or maybe, hopefully, SHF will make a Season 7 Ahsoka. But third parties there to give us what the official cannot deliver on. Like, the fact that we have that sort of safety net is, like, crazy, and it's very, very rare that comes along. Black Series, SHF are just about the only ones who have like Casting Cave or whatever else, GPS lot for whenever we get crappy plastic capes or any kinds of problems like that. Like, even if you don't get the official, third party will be there to help you in some sort of way. Like, you're not always just going to be completely out. Like, oh, I'm never going to have a Goku that looks like a Super Saiyan God because I didn't get the SHF event exclusive or the OG one that now goes for $200. I mean, just like, it's crazy. It doesn't happen very often. Here's another point. Are these really the definitive versions of the characters that you really want? I mean, some people don't even like plastic. Maybe this is a bootleg, but like this Goku, it's decent. It is. It's got some problems. It doesn't have an ab crunch. It doesn't really, like, the thighs are ugly. And then guess what? Later on, a new version came out. So you might not be able to get this one, but a better version came out later. And this thing sucks too, because those thighs are a piece of crap as compared to like the UIs. So these amazing, beautiful things. So the point is, there's always going to be something better out there, even if you don't get this one. Like, I think that eventually SHF might get to a point where they make a Mezco sort of style that switches over to cloth goods, you know? Look at the Doctor Strange, or look at Moth-X as compared to the Hasbro. Like, we had the Hasbro, and it's decent enough, but those heads are completely different. This one has nice wired cloth goods. This one has an ugly plastic. So, I mean, there's always going to be another better version. And this thing's not perfect. Like, this waist crunch kind of sucks. So to find a truly definitive version of a character is so rare. I mean, how many Batmans get made and continue being made? Like, maybe we're almost to that point where there's not going to be any more. But the point is, like, as bad as it is, we might get a better version of the character down the line. Like, maybe for Spider-Verse 2, we get a better looking Peter B. Parker that doesn't have this ugly little cut on skin, because I don't know why they would do that. Or maybe Black Series, maybe Hasbro's going to start using cloth goods as opposed to these crappy things. I mean, even if you don't get these things, the point is, there's always going to be another figure. It may take 5, 10, 20 years, but there's always going to be something else. Oh, here's a very difficult thing when you're in the toy hobby to deal with, and it's this ever so vicious cycle of just like, you see a figure, you want it, you obsess over it, and then you go on to something else. And it just repeats over and over and over and over and over. And then your room's full and you don't want to sell anything. And then you're broke. And then it's just like so many other problems of just... You need to realize that this is all part of a vicious cycle that is never ending. For as long as you care about action figures, there is always going to be another action figure out there. There's always going to be a new version or something better, or just sometimes you just got to say screw that and go back to the things that you really care about, even though they may not be perfect. Like, this thing's only 12 POA. It could be so much better. Why do I keep coming back to it? I don't know. But it's one of the things that is broken through that cycle, you know? It's always going to be a cycle. Right now, it's the Figma Lucina. In 5 days, it might be this $10 Vicious that I got from Walmart. Or before that, it was the Figma Dark Magician Girl. And then it was the Mafex Peter B. And then it was Whis. And then it was a Star Wars Black Series AT-AT driver. It's something you have to realize that is always going to happen. Continue being part of this cycle, or just realizing that you go through these different points of waves where it's like, I really want the figure. I finally have the figure. I don't care about the figure anymore. Oh, I see a new figure. I really want the figure. Do you see where this cycle is going? It's going to go on forever. Like, I know you're mad about the EEs right now, but in a year, in 2 years, whenever you have the option to play with them whenever you want to, and you don't, you'll look back on this time and kind of realize, like, maybe I was kind of a jerk for sending a death threat to P-Bandai. It's all this vicious cycle that you got to realize, like, what goes on and try to keep your emotions in check as you go through this cycle, because it's hardly ever ending. You have to make a decision of, do I want to keep riding this wave? Do I want to keep going through this cycle and all these other kinds of things, and just really understanding that it just goes on forever and you can't get mad. You can, hopefully the people that you're mad at will understand that you're just angry and that everyone goes through this cycle. Try to keep your emotions in check. Sometimes you just want to scream into the void, and that's fine. And hopefully people are just going to be nice to you about it, but try to find a better void to scream in than necessarily yelling at something. I understand that you're angry. I was angry too. But I also understand that for the points that I have listed in this video, there's no reason to really be angry at anyone or anything. It's just, it's part of this terrible cycle. It's kind of depressing, but at the same time, it's so fun because, oh my god, Whis, oh my god, Mayfix Peterby, oh my god, this Mega Man, oh my god, this Vicious or Figma Lucina, I finally don't have to carry around this crap ass bootleg anymore, or like, oh, Figma Dark Magician Girl, or oh, man, I can't wait till they reissue the Figma Yugi. And it's just like, it's so fun, but at the same time, it's so depressing, and it's just something you got to deal with and kind of just understand how it works, and hopefully you can be better because of it. So let's ask ourselves, who's really to blame? Bluefin was actually kind of self-aware of this. And in the quote that I posted in the meme video, if you play on that clip, it actually talks about how one of the other commentators was like, oh yeah, and when everything goes wrong, yell at Bandai Dave, because that'll solve all of your problems. Just yell at this guy, and all the problems will go away, and the website will be fixed. And it's like, no, it's not going to. Like, I get it. I would love to just sign on to Walmart.com and immediately pre-order the Black Series Rex and Evil Crosshair, or sign on to P-Bandai and get all 4 of my figures and be done in 5-10 minutes and have no problems. But I think we all know better, or should know better, than to just expect that. Like, even though I heard P-Bandai like come out and say like, yeah, our servers are fixed, we are totally confident that we're going to be able to handle this crap. Like, as you heard, like, they can't expect everything, and like, I doubt you guys actually believed them. Like, okay, yeah, of course your servers are fixed. Let's all be honest. We're going to go in there tomorrow and it's going to be a complete and total shit show. And it was, and you knew that was going to happen. Why are you mad? You knew it was going to happen. But we have something else with this, is like, we know that in the end that things are going to be fine. We know that P-Bandai is going to announce another open wave, and they're going to be like, we're so sorry we hurt you and made you sad, and you had to wait for 3 to 5 hours only to never get the figures. And we've been through this. This is nothing new. We know how the worst case scenario is, and we just kind of hope for the best. Hope for the best, prepare for the worst, and you're never going to have a problem. It's just, it's a part of what goes on. It's not just a P-Bandai thing. You shouldn't be mad at P-Bandai. I mean, it's never fun, but try and do something else in the meantime. Like, try and, I don't know, watch Dragon Ball. There are some really good underground releases out there. Go find them. Go get into something else, or save up the money and just buy it hassle-free on Big Bad Toy Store and pay that $25 premium per figure. Like, maybe you can do that. Maybe you don't want to deal with this, but I mean, like, no one ever said that you had to sit there and do this. I mean, we pretty much knew that there was going to be an open order, and if things went to shit, we always have Demoniacal Fit. Like, okay, Tamashi doesn't want my money for an event exclusive sign. I'll just go buy the Demoniacal Fit one, because I know they'll put out all day. So there's really no one here to be mad at except the vicious cycle that I just mentioned. Yeah, I know you're angry now, but in a year from now, you're not even going to touch these figures. You're going to be obsessing over next year's exclusives, which are going to be Yardrat, Vegeta, and Fusion Reborn Gogeta, and Player 2 Android 16 from Budokai Tenkaichi 3, or whatever it is. I mean, I don't even know what it is, but I'm sure I'll be obsessed over it at a point. Or, like, how many of you guys are already obsessing over Kefla or Krillin? Like, do you even care about the EEs? Like, Oh yeah, E's suck. I hate that we have to deal with P-Bandai, but ooh, Krillin, I hate that we have to deal with P-Bandai, but ooh, Krillin, Kefla, Master Roshi, are they teasing another Frieza? Zarbon, Dodoria, do you see this cycle that goes on? Please tell me that you understand it. Just, I know you're angry, but you'll get over it, and it's hard to be humble enough to accept that this is a problem. But if you do, you will be such a better person for this. I hated that I had Bardock, and Bardock had so many problems. And look at that. As mad as I was in the review video, he's all fixed up, and I can play with him all fine, and it's just so much fun. And I can get him in all these cool poses and do all these cool fun things with him. And just like, I don't feel like I'm the same person I was when I was angry and making that first impression video. I mean, sure, there are some things to be disappointed about, and maybe we're going to get another Bardock or something, hopefully. But the point is, there's nothing really to gain from being mad, because it'll go away. Maybe I'm going to forget about this. Like, Raditz, Raccoon, Kid Gohan, as long as I waited for those things and they got delayed and everything, like, I don't play with those every day. I don't. I play with the Mega Man every day, and I play with the Moth X every day, but I don't play with Kid Gohan every day. I don't play with Raccoon. I'm not going to play with Birder every day, and whenever Champa and King Cold come out, they're probably going to have some problems, and I'm probably not going to play with him every day. You know what could fix this? Learning ZBrush and just making them yourself. Other than that, it's just always going to be a thing that you deal with. Please just take a step back and think it over. I know you're angry, but try not to be angry for long, because in the end, it's not going to matter. This has been Joe and Blue. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Goodbye.